Kindiki Kithure, the interior boss, to become the region's kingpin. What happens to the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, Dr. Mutunga?
I was not part of the 48, but I was part of the 14. Remember, there was a meeting in Embu by the Mount Kenya East leaders who now claimed their title. The title deed for the part of the mountain.
So you're splitting the mountain into two?
Because we after consulting a lot and soul searching, we discovered that there are quite a number of things that are happening which are not in our favor. And therefore, we did not know where to take the complaints because, you know, the presumption and, of course, there are clear indicators that some of these things happen with clear knowledge of those who are supposed to be assisting us or helping us out. So we agreed that we would like to have a Mount Kenya East group, which we formed, and we launched that group, and we said that this parliamentary group now will go back to the people and explain the reason why we have realized that it is necessary. First of all, let me say, this is the first time Mount Kenya East has spoken as one group, in one voice, because we've been speaking as Meru, people from Tharaka-Nithi, and people from Embu. And in most cases, we look at the entire Mount Kenya, we are subsumed as a community. We are looking back into history as what happened progressively from independence, and the recognition that that region has been given vis-a-vis the impact of the region as a voting bloc, and we realize that there is the proportionate issue is not there. So there is no reciprocal.
As Mount Kenya East.
So as Mount Kenya East, I can talk about Mount Kenya East because the other one I did not attend, although they also said what we did. Let me say that this has some history. Maybe people may be wondering, why are you saying this or the other? The reason is that during the time when the president was to decide who was to be his deputy, there were many people. All of us were there. Then he narrowed down on a number, and then he went narrowing down to the last two. So these last two, one of them became the deputy, the other one became the CS in charge of internal security and administration. And so when we spoke from the background of the fact that this is the senior most in our region.
So from Mount Kenya East, Kindiki is the senior most?
He is the senior most. I mean, in terms of looking at the docket. His docket covers most of the issues that we identify with as a region. We have insecurity issues, we have issues of, administration units.
So is it proper to say now that Kindiki is, just immediately in the region, or is the next or closest person to the region?
Yeah.
He reports to the deputy president. Is it proper to say that?
No, what we are saying is that we would like, you see, when you look at Nyanza, you look at Western Kenya, you look at Coast, all the areas, there is somebody who puts together, you look at Ukambani, there is somebody who puts together that sub-region, and then their issues are channeled through that particular person. And we can see clearly that most of those other regions have benefited immensely from this government. And when you look at Mount Kenya East, there are several things that we find that are not good.
Is it proper to say Mount Kenya East, then you back Kindiki, or you consider Kindiki as the kingpin? But in the entire Mount Kenya region, is the deputy president. Make it clear, Honorable Mutunga.
Let me be very honest with you. I said at the beginning, in my opening statement, I said that there is need for us we needed to know, to be sure that our issues are very well taken care of, balanced and without any biases or anything. People look at what is needed for us. Politics is about development. If in politics you don't accrue any form of development in your backyard, then you are useless politician.
So you no longer consider
we believe
as your kingpin?
We don't, yes. As the 14 of us who met, we don't.
Now to Kimani.
Yes.
On the mountains politics.
Yes.
That has now dominated, of course, the space.
Yes.
And Mount Kenya East, again, the 48 members from the entire region that backed Kindiki. Is the deputy president a lonely man at the top?
Firstly, politics is pure. It's a tug of war for power and authoritative share of resources and values. Now, when people come together and they bring all their votes together as a region and decide that you are backing up one candidate, they do so not necessarily because of the love they have for the candidate, but because of the benefits they hope to accrue from supporting the candidate. Now, if a region like Mount Kenya has 3 regions, by the way, because it has the Mount Kenya East, it has the Mount Kenya West, and it has the Kikuyus in diaspora. Where I come from.
Even the very diaspora.
Now the danger comes in here. What Mohesh doesn't want to say is to state it in black and white. That the Mount Kenya West, or the Central Kenya, so to put it, is like the bigger brother in this coalition from one region. And then there is the 2 younger brothers. One is the Kikuyu in diaspora, and the other one is the Mount Kenya West. Now, we go hunting together as a region. We vote in one basket. Then it is time to share the benefits that should accrue to us, a region, in terms of employment opportunities, development programs. Then you realize Central Kenya now takes the lion's share. Look at it, the number of PSs that Mount Kenya has been given. So now share it proportionately, as the Honorable is saying. You realize that Mount Kenya always preferentially treats the Central Kenya to better positions, to better development programs at the expense of these other 2 younger ones. Now, a time has come when the 2 others are asking, why should we then be supporting, should be working as a team, but when it comes to us sharing the benefits that accrue to us, you want to take the bigger share and you are arrogant about it. Then we can also form our own sub-region and negotiate for our own resources as we agree on where to put our votes. So I would call it like a sibling rivalry of some sort. It's a very good thing in my opinion, because it casts, it brings it to the surface, the simmering differences that have been hiding in the pretense that Mount Kenya is one cohesive region. Now it is time for us to talk about it seriously and ask ourselves serious questions, so that if we can't agree, then we agree to disagree and we become 3 regions that are part of one region. And then each one can go vote the way they want and negotiate the way they want. Because even as Kikuyus of diaspora, we are asking, we are the biggest county in the Central Kenya, right? Think of the Kikuyus in the Rift Valley, the Kikuyus in Coast, the Kikuyus in Nyanza, all over. What do we get for voting as part of the Kikuyus in Central Kenya? We get nothing. The number of CSs, the number of PSs, how many come from the Kikuyus in diaspora? Out of those that have been allocated to the Kikuyus. So these guys have been taking all the positions, yet Gachagua want to come to Nakuru and tell us we are one. We are not. Our coffee, peace is what coffee is to the Central. To us, peace is what coffee is to the people of Central. We work among other tribes. What matters most to us is peace. Now, when you want to bring politics of isolation, that we are one region, we are Mulima, no, we are not. Sisi, we are Kikuyus who live among Luos, Luyas, everybody else. So now when we talk of 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote, so where should 1 shilling for me come to? Kiambu or to Molo, where I come from, which is in the Rift Valley. So there are those issues that for us now we must sit down and agree on them as the 3 domains, and agree or disagree. And then moving forward, now we will be hearing of Mount Kenya West, Mount Kenya East, and Kikuyus of diaspora as another.
Dr. Mutunga, Gachagua likens you, especially his opponents in the Mount Kenya region, to hyenas that were there for selfish interests, and he has the ground.
Let me tell you something. We speak for our people who elected us to represent them. And when it comes to higher national leaders, if somebody tells me that he can come to my backyard and they garner more votes than probably I would identify with while supporting him from a village to a group to a church to everything, you'll be lying. Because your people have alliance with you because they resonate with you. You interpret most of the things to them, so they believe in you. So what we tell them is basically there's this imagination that one visit of a leader at the national level will change issues at the local level. I don't think it needs to be tried. It's a theory that needs to be tried and we see results. Because what I know in politics works is what normally people have believed in. My people have promised them this and that. Sometimes it has not worked. They have also suffered losses at the expense of probably what is in the office, as my very good friend here is saying. Now, when we got into this government, we are very clear of the history as to where we have come from. I remember very clearly that the Meru people specifically supported Kibaki twice. Before he became the president, twice, even the Kikuyus were not voting Kibaki. But we were voting Kibaki to the man. Why? Because we had disagreed with Moi so much, and he had told us to go to hell, and we told him fair enough, we will stay in hell. Now, what happened later on when Kibaki became the president? He remembered that, and he wanted the Meru. That's why we have maybe some of the developments you can see right now. Now, let me go back to maybe the last regime. Now, if you look at interpretation, as Kimani Mwangi is saying here, there is one specific issue I want to bring to the table. The Mau Mau roads. Honestly, where were the Mau Maus? Were the Mau Maus only in the Amandaeus ridges? The Mau Maus were a lot more in Mount Kenya, the eastern part of it. General Waimungi, General Mariama, and others died while fighting. And if you look at, we have no consideration as at now. There is not a single Mau Mau road in Meru. Then what are you talking about? What is this you are talking about, Mulima? Mulima is, Mulima becomes flat when we are looking for vote. We are all very good friends. We are brothers and sisters. We speak in Kikuyu across the Mulima. But the moment we form the government, then we see differences. I don't want to give very specific example, but I can tell you, I have personally lobbied for people who have what it takes to get government positions. They have what it takes. And I have seen discrimination at that particular level. And efforts to make sure that those that we are lobbying for as Merus do not get it. So we see, positions moving from Meru, crossing over to the other side.
So you're not there, Dr. Mutunga, for selfish interests? Perhaps,
I am not there for any selfish interest.
Money.
When somebody talks about selfish interest, let him bring them up. Let them bring them to the fore so that Kenyans can know. I have never discussed, maybe they are the ones who are selfishly inclined. Who facilitated the meetings? We did
How much are you given?
In fact, I was told the day before that we are meeting tomorrow in Embu, is Isa Gwaton. I drove my car there, I fueled my car, and went to Nairobi after that. So it was not really an issue of facilitation. You see, there is that one notion of facilitation that Kenyans are bringing in, which is really not quite correct. Chacha, I wouldn't go to Nakuru to get 200,000. I wouldn't go there because of 200,000. I would go there because of an issue. I have resigned as a person from different boards and committees when I realized that my contribution is not recognized. This institution does not want to change as per ideas we are giving. I told them, sorry, I didn't come for allowances. I came here to offer ideas to develop this institution.
It said among the two. It said among the two, one is a bit stingy and the other one is more generous. Are you
no. There is absolutely no measure of generosity. We have never looked at that. So those are very basic, trivial ideas that you can bring to the fore as a national leader and consider yourself to be really leading our people. You see, one thing that you need to be very careful about is that people think, people see, people interpret. Whatever you are doing, whatever you are saying. When you consider yourself to be the best man with the best ideas around, and these best ideas are not really taking you anywhere. When it comes to our people and our region, we are looking at differentiated development. The intensity of the projects that have stalled in our region, the effort that is being put into reviving this project, the needs that we are presenting to the government as our people. How many times have we done matrices and presented these matrices for them to be responded to? And to what extent have they been responded to? Nothing. We keep on, renewing and revising. And that, there is no representation in such a case. So we are saying, let us be closer to, we tell them now, this is what we want. If it is not possible, tell us. The government does not listen to you at all.
Kimani, yes. Many believe, especially while dealing with leaders, it's easy to buy them or to hire them.
Yes.
In other words. And Gachagua believes he has the ground, and perhaps the 48 MPs, or even the 14, could have been hired just to try and destabilize Gachagua.
The danger, and these I must talk to our people, especially in central Kenya. They are being led by a very vicious leader, if I may put it this way, who anytime anybody goes against his wishes, he is either a traitor or has been hired.
It's against the
he
people.
has even
or
come,
against
yes,
the
or is against the people, and has even come with very diminutive terms, like in our Kikuyu language, you would hear them call them Gakonia. You know, in Mau Mau era, there were
Translate
these,
that for audio.
yes, that is what I'm doing now. In Mau Mau era, there were these people who used to single out the Mau Mau, what we used to call it Tugati, the snitches or traitors. So they would be covered in sacks so that you don't see them. Then there would be holes at the eyes for him to come and say, Chacha is the one, Daktari is the one, this is the one. Now His Excellency Gachagua has a very bad habit. Anybody who says anything that he doesn't like, he brands him a snitch. He's snitching for the society, right? And then he has this very bad habit of telling everybody we are listening to the ground. You know, leaders are elected to lead, not to be led.
But he appears to have numbers when he goes
you
to
see,
the
if you look at
the region.
Machiavelli tells us that people are always overtaken by whatever circumstances they go through, and they are simple-minded. That anybody who wishes to lie to them will always find the people ready to be lied to. These electioneering issues are issues that are highly emotive. Now, and Gachagua, being the politician he is, he knows that all he needs is to go emotions about the whole thing. He doesn't want to apply logic. Now, the thing is, there are issues and serious issues that ought to be discussed among the three domains as I've listed them. Now, a good leader would ask the leaders from Mount Kenya East to have a sit down with them and ask, what are the issues that you would want us to look at as a region, even as we negotiate for our, for our share of resources from the government. Now, when the Mount Kenya people, when the Mount Kenya East people says that they have issues, and then you brand them traitors, what do you expect them to do? Now, when the Kikus of diaspora come and say something and you say, these ones are traitors, you see now where the problem comes from. And that is why you understand, even the leaders are so angry at him, because he is not the kind of a leader that will want to sit down and talk things out. Call a meeting, I understand we have differences, can we iron them out? What he does is he brand you a traitor, goes to the people, tells you, mimi nimesema mlima isiguzwe, then we have traitors who've been sent to come and fight me.
So will Kindiki deliver the mountain?
Now,
come 2027
under such circumstances, what do you expect the leaders to do? The leaders would have to get themselves another highly placed man in the government from the region that they can be channeling their issues to, because you can go to somebody who, if you don't agree with him, he goes out and tell the people, these are traitors.
But the numbers here are 48, for instance.
Yes.
And the region has millions of votes.
Yes.
Come 2027, will Kindiki lobby the region?
You can rest assured that Kindiki would lobby the Mount Kenya East completely. Let nobody lie to you that Deputy President Gachagua can beat Kindiki in Mount Kenya East.
Not Mount Kenya East. We are talking about the mountain in its entirety.
Now,
will Kindiki deliver it?
No, Chacha. I think you are missing the point also. Are you trying to say that it is Gachagua who lobbied the Kikuyu vote?
He didn't.
That's what he said, that some regions...
People voted for Ruto. Even if Gachagua picked me as his deputy, people would still have voted for, I mean, even if Ruto picked me as his deputy, people would have voted for Ruto.
So the narrative is telling that he helped Ruto get the Mount Kenya vote is wrong.
The message that we took to the people is that this gentleman was good for us. In the first government of Uhuru, he really played a major role. And we owe him as a people. We believe that he is a good man. And we saw that, and then it was all over across the region. So it is not an individual, that's first of all. Secondly, I would like to say this. If you want to talk for the people, always consult them. Don't assume that they know nothing.
But he's always on the ground.
Consulting who? if we are talking about the leaders, if we are spreading the narrative of the percentage of the votes that the region gave, the 1 man, 1 shilling, how much of that have we bought as a community that you are representing? You must put us together and we tell you, no, when you put it that way, it will have sharp edges. It will ruffle feathers.
So looking at the bigger picture, Dr. Mutunga, are we looking at Kindiki being Ruto's running mate come 2027?
We are far from 2027. That's first and
is there a possibility of that?
Secondly, we are saying that we are in a development era now. We are not in a political era. We are not competing for seats. The political competition has not been announced. So as we move on with development, let our region be represented by somebody we believe will listen to us and will die with us when it comes to being fair and focusing on development.
Your majority leader, Kimani Ichung'wah, says that President Ruto should fire or sack his deputy. What do you think?
When the majority leader speaks, it's not Mutunga who is speaking, first of all. Secondly, if Kimani Ichung'wah gave his reasons, which we need to also go back to, he said clearly, of course, if there is the principal assistant to the president should basically be talking about development of the region or explaining how some of these issues. Where are roads stored in Tigania West? So when you come to Tigania West and try to associate the stalling of roads with Mutunga, that time people can listen to you. And that is the kind of narrative some people are planning to sell. So we understood this, we knew it from the way in advance, and we need to take care of such narrative because when people have pending development programs, and you come and major on that your MP does not represent you, your MP is busy politicking, he does not bring these issues to the government. Who is the government? So we need to be careful here. When it comes to 2027, what I'm saying is that between Gachagua and Kindiki, at the point of choice of the deputy, they were equally likely. The two of them were equally likely.
What happens to the budget chair, Ndindi Nyoro, also the Kiharu member of parliament, who has been positioning himself to become Ruto's running mate come 2027?
I would like to desist from discussing this case because he's not in the equation. And the two gentlemen we are talking about have been discussed by people and their names have been flagged out. So the issue is around there.
We take a break at this juncture. Share, of course, your views and comments about the ongoing discussion on the state of politics via social media platforms at K24 TV, Joe Church as well on SMS and WhatsApp numbers on the bottom of your screens. When we come back, we'll still be highlighting the state of politics. Also, what is happening in the opposition outfit. Is Kalonzo Musyoka's opposition wing being felt? We'll be right back. Stay tuned.